What's good, everybody, and welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnny Mobley Jr.,
Hey y'all, I'm his wife Deirdra
and we sound like an ordinary couple.
with extraordinary purpose. Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings. How y'all doing tonight? Just a disclaimer, I'm talking a little bit low tonight. I'm not going to elevate my voice because I'm supposed to be on vocal rest. I'm just trying to do better because I sound like somebody's granddaddy.
Now, you sound like somebody smoke a lot of cigarettes.
I'm singing too much, so I'm trying to do better with my life. Okay? Okay. Hey. So, what y'all about to get tonight is real, raw, relational. That's what we always tell y'all. That's what we always do. So tonight, Johnny and I are actually going to do. We're going to be our own therapist tonight. Y'all going to see a live and live in color therapy session with me and Johnny tonight. We're our own therapist. Y'all ready for it? We're going to use the exercise on ourselves that we use on couples from time to time that my husband himself created. And we're going to talk about some things tonight, okay? Is that all right? Great. Husband?
Wife.
I love you.
I love you too, wifey.
Okay, great. So, these are flashcards that we use with our couple before. And this was to actually engage them in hubby had me to we both put these cards all over the dining room table. And can you tell them a little bit behind the purpose of this exercise for them? Can you tell them that?
What I did was the couple wasn't very clear. So sometimes when you tell couples that this is what they're doing, whether it's being controlling, whether it's being
overbearing,
selfish, untrustworthy,
manipulative,
they don't believe that that's what the category is that they're acting. Their characteristics and the choices they're making in a relationship, they don't believe that that's what it is. And as all y'all know, if you can't fix what you don't acknowledge.
Right.
So if you never think that nothing is wrong, or you never think that this is what the issue is, then you automatically think this is just who you are and everybody needs to get with the program. And that's not healthy.
Okay.
So what I did was I pulled different characteristics from different areas, from healthy characteristics.
That's what the H is for.
Characteristics.
Okay. And we have some C's for controlling on the back. Okay.
And I think it was some other ones.
I've seen H, C's, and it was some other letter. NWC.
I can't remember what that was. Let me see the word.
Not worth changing, I think.
Not willing to change.
Not willing to change, yeah.
So the NWC was not willing to change. And it was just different stuff. And then what we did was they didn't know the stuff on the back of the card was what it was. But we just put the initials on it. And then we put different words out.
Right.
And they were able to pick the characteristics that they believe that their marriage, the state that their marriage was in at the time. And that was together, themselves, their spouse, whatever the case is. So they was able to pick that. Of course, once we explained what a lot of characteristics was, we had one person out of the couple had a complete meltdown, but they felt like they were being attacked, and that's what it was. It was basically, and we tell people all the time, me and my wife, if we're sitting in front of y'all, we go do a consultation, and then if we decide that we will go forward with helping y'all, and y'all decide y'all want us to help us, The only thing we do is take the mirror up probably in the first 3-4 sessions and hold a mirror up and let y'all see yourself.
If that long. Mm-hmm.
So we're not creating nothing. We're not making nothing up. We get all the information from the couple, and then we say, okay, this is what y'all are. And then most of them, they don't think that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, at the end of the day, that's what we do. It's something that God gave to me at the time to do, and we did it. Which I think we need to copyright that and make it a game or something. Probably not a
game, but an exercise.
Yeah, exercise. We can do
tool.
different characteristics. Yeah, we could use different characteristics in different settings and different stuff like that. But yeah. So that's what I did. So that's what we about to do for us.
And so the concept, did you say that when they came in, we had them pull
the characteristics that they believe that was the state of their marriage
right.
relationship
right.
at this very moment.
Right. And if they both were maybe going to grab the same one, we took that card and set it, and we kept it with us. But if they felt like, they maybe varied on the cards, one believed it, one didn't figure that was a characteristic, then they would keep, their own cards if they felt like that. I think we only had a few, but that was the whole concept for us to talk about why they felt that way, one by one, of course, why they felt that way, so they could explain, what maybe an example of why they felt that way, with the other person listening, to understand and not to respond, why their spouse feels this way, and talk about it and see how they can have tools to change that characteristic, whether it's, okay, so this is what it's being presented as, and this is how your spouse feels about that this characteristic is currently present in your marriage, and here's, what y'all can do to help work on that. And to change it, especially if it's not a healthy characteristic.
And the entire reason for that is to make it easier for the topics to be talked about. Now,
right.
if I was to pick some topics that I believe the state of me and my wife relationship is now, and she doesn't agree with it, doesn't mean that my feelings or what I chose is invalid.
Right.
So the whole thing is for you to understand the perception of what your spouse is actually seeing in the relationship that y'all are in, and then communicating and talking about that. It's not for a debate. It's not for you to challenge each other and say, I'm not like that. That's not what it is. It's for you to have an open mind and an open heart to hear how your spouse feels at that very moment. And their feelings are valid. And that's the whole point of it. A lot of couples, when they do it, they don't feel like they act that way, or they don't feel like they do. Or they take the victim status and say, well, I'm just horrible person and I just don't do right. And that's not what it's for.
Right.
It's for the only way you know how to fix something if you know exactly what to fix. If you fixing trying to repair a marriage and try to become better and healthy in a marriage, but you don't know what y'all working on, that's just not smart. That's just not smart. I was going to say the other word, but I figured not smart is better.
What, dumb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here we are. Johnnie and Deirdra need help. This is the first card. Our marriage is in trouble. Okay. You agree on that?
You say our marriage is in trouble?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't.
No, we are the couple mode.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Our marriage is in trouble.
Okay, why would you say our marriage is in trouble?
Okay, because there are things and ways things that I've been seeing in you lately, or not so much just recently, but before, and I have been trying to talk to you about it, and you have not been responding to my concerns.
And it's become bigger now because you saying is our marriage is in trouble.
Right.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. So this was one of the cards that was on the table, and this is a clear indication, and this has happened before where one person has pulled this and the other person didn't
agree with
it. And so it doesn't make the other person, if just because he didn't feel as if I felt about this, that doesn't make, what I'm saying, I'm not going to condemn him for not thinking that, but I'm going to explain, like I just did, I explain why I say that our marriage is in trouble. Obviously, he is looking at it from a different perspective, or what could be other reasons why you don't think that the marriage is in trouble.
Because that's it. Just different perspectives. So we've talked about perspectives before. I do have my own perspective of things. Deirdra has her own perspective of things. And then we come together and we have a marriage perspective of how we do things. All that stuff is valid in everything. So when this is the part you need to pay attention to. If your wife or your husband says our marriage is in trouble, don't try to dummy it down as if, or say statements like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
If your spouse is saying it's a big deal, then you need to listen. If they use the words, our marriage is in trouble, you need to listen. Now, the person that's using our marriage in trouble, that can't be a attention getter. You can't just say that just to get the person's attention. It can't be every little thing that your marriage is in trouble. Because at some point in time, the person will stop believing that our marriage is in trouble. You're just using that as a tactic to put them on edge or whatever the case is. So when it gets to our marriage is in trouble, then the other person needs to listen if you care about your marriage. But most of the time, our marriage is in trouble means we at our wits' ends. This is it.
There's no compromise. Right. That's
I'm out.
That's the severity of what we look at that as. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So chronic criticism, even for the small things. So this comes into play when I feel I can't do anything right. You criticize for everything. If I, wash the dishes and leave them in the sink, or don't put the dishes dishes up out of the dishwasher really quick right after the dishwasher is finished running, and it's something said about that, or if I don't, I think I used something, I can't remember what I used the other day, but it's just constant criticism, even for small things. When somebody, chooses this, how can this be? Okay, so how can one person look at this as criticism, but then the other person look at it as them just not necessarily criticizing you, but reminding you?
Well, that's a controlling characteristic, right?
It is.
So most of the time, if you're chronically saying something about everything, then the person you're talking to, that's not who. Most of the time, it's the person that's actually saying what they're saying is the person that's unhappy, and you're a little too happy about stuff. So regardless of what you do, I need you to be where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want you to be happy. I don't want you to be satisfied with nothing because I'm not. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going
nitpick per se.
Yeah, I'm just going
about
to
everything.
say something about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. Even if a person who's complaining chronically about the small things, if you do everything exactly how they wanted to do,
it's still never enough.
And they still have something to say, that's when you know. It's just a controlling mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be, it should not, everything should not be a chronic issue. Everything should not be a chronic issue.
Right. So how do you, what I guess I would say, what tools can we use? Because remember, we're the couple. So what tools can we use to help pinpoint that for the person who is, you see what I'm saying,